Coach?
Professionally, 2 years.
Okay.
Yeah, and it has been an amazing journey because I actually had to go train for it, and then I've been doing it, and it's been amazing in this short time I have been doing it, and for weird reasons I've been doing it from Benin. Yeah, a lot of people don't know I live in Benin, but yeah.
Always remote.
Not remote, because
Okay.
a lot of people believe that when you do the kind of thing I do, you should be somewhere in Lagos or
Port
Abuja or
Harcourt.
Harcourt. Yeah, but I choose to redefine that, and I've remained in Benin. Though I travel a lot, but I base in Benin. Yeah.
I love breaking barriers. So writing and poetry. Why poetry?
Well, it's a way to express your thoughts and feelings on paper and also to an audience. And I find that out that I could use words to heal. Yeah, at a point in my life, my mom wanted me to read medicine, and I couldn't. Yeah.
Why do mom want us to
thanks
always
to
read
jam.
medicines?
Mama Doctor is a
Yeah,
good name.
well, at the end of the day, I figured out that if I couldn't treat people with drugs, I could treat them with words.
That's really cool.
Oh my God, just does this.
Okay, so we're going to just jump right into the conversation of today, and we're talking about internships. Do you think internships are actually necessary?
Yes, it is.
Why?
Because it's an opportunity for you to learn for free.
Oh,
Yes,
Okay.
and not be too affected when you make mistakes, because they'll see you as an intern, as against when you have a regular job. If you have a job and you make mistakes, you could be fired. But as an intern, you only be cautioned. So I encourage young people to go for internship opportunities, and sure, don't even go for it. Seek it out. It's an avenue for you to learn for free from whichever organizations you're interning with, gain experience from them, and then you can move on to do whatever it is that you want to do for yourself.
Amazing. So when do you think young adults should take internships? And people advise that you should try to make sure that you get internships when you're in university, so that when you join the workforce, you could just go right in.
The challenge a lot of people are not beginning to recognize that the competition is no longer human beings, it's machines. So if you were seeking to get into school first and probably in your tier 100 level and then go for your IT, as it's called, to do internship, you're behind.
Wow.
Okay.
Yes, you're actually behind, because from what I do, I encourage people who are getting into school from 100 level, during your summer holiday, start internship.
Okay.
Go to organizations, tell them you want to volunteer with them for the period of your holiday, learn some things. They'll give you a recommendation letter when you're leaving, and then you also include that to your CV when you're finally done with school. You're building experiences. So imagine a young girl, a young boy who's in 100 level, studying whatever course he's studying. In his 4 different holidays, he goes to 4 different establishments for internship. He'll be amazing by the time he comes out from school.
Wow.
Yeah.
I didn't see it in that.
I just got fat during holidays.
And a lot of people use this season's period to catch up with series they couldn't watch while they were in school. It's just a waste of your time, because the only true holiday you ever had as a person was when you finished from secondary school.
Wow.
Every other holiday you have after then, you're wasting your time if you're not being productive.
Wow.
I feel so attacked right now.
No,
But,
it's not personal. It's just the truth.
one of the biggest line of thought when it comes to internship is the financial burden it places on the intern, from transportation to feeding while at work and all the jazz. And a lot of organizations do not offer paid internships. What
Yes.
do you think about unpaid internships?
For me, I see doing that as a sacrifice.
Okay.
In the line of what I do as a poet, sometimes I say that you need to sacrifice so you can be satisfied. Yeah, so if you're being an intern and you're spending your transport, you're feeding yourself and all that, put in the best work. Hard work is always recognized and rewarded. If you put in the best work in the first month, the organization may look at you and say, okay, I think this person deserves transport, I think this person deserves feeding. And some may even go ahead and say, okay, I think this person deserves a stipend. But when you just do it, okay, they say I should intern, just do it, like, you shouldn't be plagued with the commune syndrome, like, it doesn't matter.
You think the attitude is something that needs to be worked on?
That's the commune syndrome. It
What is
doesn't
the
mean,
commune syndrome?
It doesn't mean, you know, commune, like in Yoruba, it's a commune, like it doesn't matter.
Doesn't matter.
But the truth is, what doesn't matter soon becomes matter arising.
Okay.
Wow.
I should get that on a t-shirt. What doesn't matter soon becomes matters, right? I'm making the shirts.
Okay, now many people have, the issue. One of the issues with being an intern is the fear of being exploited. Now, many people go into certain places and they feel used, like you're taking advantage of them. It's not like, in the case where you're not being paid, it's not like you're paying me and then you want to use me. So what do you do at that point as an intern if you feel used?
Great. You can only be used when you're useful.
Okay.
Oh.
Okay.
That's two t-shirts now.
We're really going to open a t-shirt factory. Wow. Yes, you can only be used when you're useful.
Okay.
So if you're being used, that's you being pruned, that's you being shapened, that's you being going through fire so the gold in you can come out. So we have a lot of lazy youth, sorry to say, but that's the truth.
Okay.
And one of my pieces in spoken poetry, I said that the rate at which youths have become so lazy is a proof that the spirit of laziness is so hardworking.
Wow.
3 t-shirts.
Okay.
Yes.
Okay.
So you're feeling used. It's a feeling. Change that.
Okay.
Stop feeling that way.
So change your mindset.
Yes. See it as you're giving your best to that organization for the time being. And when you leave, they will always say there was one person who stood out.
Okay.
Yes.
Now, I want to ask another question. Now, one of the things that I noticed about being an intern is when you come into a place, people are not willing to open up what you came to learn. Now, what do you do at that time? Because you came here to learn, and then maybe they're taking your attention to something totally different.
You're just going to buy food
from what exactly? You're the one who does the messages. You're the one who runs errands. You're the one who does all the little things. And then you came here to actually learn something, and you're not getting them. So what do you do at that time? And you don't feel. That's why I said exploitation, because at that time you feel like, okay, I came here with so much energy, especially if your mind and your heart and everything is there. I came here with so much energy. I want to get this. I want to get this, and then you get there and it's a totally different ball game for you. At least the first 2 months. Let's say holidays, 3 months. Holidays.
One of the things I tell my clients when I coach them, I said, when the student is ready, the teacher will appear.
Okay.
Which means the hunger and the drive you have to learn will make the people you're working with want to really teach you. You will know when someone is lazy. You will know when somebody wants to learn. You will know when somebody does not want to learn. We see a lot of young people who are doing internship and they're taking advantage of the organization, using their Wi-Fi for free to download series and watch movies and just sit around and just loaf around and do nothing. So the kind of people they tend to go get snacks or recharge card and the likes because they are not being productive.
Okay.
When you're productive, people know your worth. They know your value. And then they use you even more because they see you're the person who delivers results. So, if you came to an organization to learn, remember why you came there. Seek out to learn. If they're not willing to teach you, push them to the point, reach your excellent service that they want to communicate more to you on why you came there. But for some people, they just, okay, these people are not interested in me, so I really won't push it. I'll just do my time and then leave. You're wasting your time, actually.
Okay, so a lot of people have confused 2 concepts, the concepts of internship and the concept of apprenticeship. Where is the line between the both of them? Because it seems like both of them are there to learn a specific thing. So where do we say, okay, this is an internship, or I'm just an apprentice, this is an apprenticeship?
Okay, I think I would just draw the line in a very simple way that apprenticeship takes a longer time than internship.
Yes.
Simple.
Okay.
But they're the same thing.
Oh.
Yeah.
I used to think apprenticeship are usually people that attend to handiwork, so you're learning a vocational skill.
Not exactly.
Okay.
We've always seen that light thanks to our brothers from the East, but not exactly, because most of the people here right now, they're interning and some of them are being an apprentice to learn. Basically, it's for you to learn and become better at that particular field.
Okay.
So whatever time it takes, it's up to you.
Okay, so if you're interning at an organization and your hope is that you get made a permanent staff, what are some things that you should do? What are some things that you shouldn't do?
Shouldn't do, don't use their free Wi-Fi.
But the Wi-Fi is just there. Should I disconnect? Interns will just want to pass by.
Interns using free Wi-Fi.
Yes, don't use your free Wi-Fi because that's a sign that you're not serious.
Okay.
Yes, yes. And things you shouldn't do, don't come late to work. They may not tell you anything, but on the day you're leaving, you hear the comments, and then you'll be sad. Another thing you should not do is that don't get involved with office politics and just not your business. That's not why you came there.
Okay.
Things you must do. Focus on why you came. Learn as much as you can under the short time that you have. And then things you must do, be your best at all times. When you do that, it's not about you even being retained. It's you living there with integrity which you came, and then they'll always know that this person is an amazing person. For some people, the place you intend for recommend you to even higher places. That's if you've paid your dues and you've served excellently well.
But are there organizations that go out of their way to actually exploit young people? I was speaking to a person yesterday. I was talking about the conversation for today, and he was like, he went somewhere, he interned for 6 months, and he didn't learn anything because there weren't enough staff on ground to even teach. So what he was doing there was that he was the one putting all the value, and he didn't take anything out of it. That even when he left, although he personally bettered himself, he felt like he wasted his time for the most of the time, because the things that he learned, he could have just sat at home, opened his laptop, and learned them, because that's exactly what he did. So are there organizations out there that actually just go out to seek interns for the sake of not paying labor?
Well, how do I put it now? For you who's planning to be an intern, you should know where you want to go do your internship. You probably should have researched the organization and know if it's in line with your personal values and vision that you have for your field, and then go there. Or if you're just like, okay, because it said that we must do internships, so let me anywhere I find myself is okay for me. You at that point, you are not even a serious person, because most of the things you could learn online, it's good, but then an organization gives you structure that online won't give you. An organization gives you opportunity for you to meet other people and expose you to other contacts that online would give you. So you as an intern, you should research the organization you are going to intern with, know why you are going there, and then when you get there, even if you're not giving value, when you get there, you will get the value you went there for, because you've already done your homework before going there. People who, like he said, he learned from it in the long run, but he could have done better if he had researched where he really wanted to do internship. It's free labor, right? So most organizations would accept you because it's free. They're not paying anything for it. But you should make it a win-win. Though they accept you, you should also have your reasons for going and what you want to learn by the time you're done.
Alright, so I have a few comments, so I'll just go right ahead and get them. I have this one from Shobande Adewale. He says, "Flow, coach." So Dominic KK says, "Good morning." David Victoria says, "Great morning, coach. Much love from this side." Blessing says, "Hey guys, good morning." And she also says, "This coach is very informative." I know. Three t-shirts on there. As a personal development coach, let me just branch in there and steal some knowledge. If I was going to create a career development plan for myself and say right now I am in 100 level, what are the steps that you would advise me to take in my plan? Things I should write down, things I should know, things I should do.
Okay, first off, I probably would ask you why you're studying what you're studying. Because a lot of young people are in school because their parents wanted them to study a particular course. So they're just there like, okay, I need to do this so I can make good grades. But that's not really what they want to do. So for someone who is like that, I'll first tell you, focus on what your parents want you to do on one side, and then start working on your passion on the other side. So by the time you're leaving school with your parents' degree that you can give to them, and then you're well proficient in the field that you really want to major in after school. Because a lot of people went to universities, and when they're done with school, they never did anything with certificates.
Yeah.
A lot of people.
Yeah. So when you know that this is what I want to do for my life, it's best to now start chasing while in school, because in school you have the opportunity to do any and everything. In school, it's like the microcosm of the real society. So I even encourage people to start businesses while you're in school, because that's when you can know if the business will really thrive.
Okay.
Instead of waiting, oh, when I'm done with school, then I start the business. You're already too late. You're 4 years late. Yes. So, and then what I also tell the person while in school, get into leadership in some sort so you can develop yourself. A lot of people just become very book smart and street foolish.
Wow.
because
That's
they
another
don't
t-shirt.
relate with
4
people.
t-shirts. Now my money is running out.
Because they don't relate with people while you're in school. They
Yeah.
just focus on
Their
your books
books.
alone and all that. The world is beyond your books. The world's beyond your books. And if you're only book smart and not street smart, the street is waiting for you when you're done with school.
Wow.
So how do you build effective leadership? Now, speaking of leadership, like you said, how do you now build, what ways can you put yourself out there to be an effective leader in terms of not just focusing on your books, but also, you know, reaching out to learn for others?
Okay, yeah, for effective leadership, I think you should begin by leading yourself.
Okay.
Okay.
We have a lot of indisciplined persons around. They can't lead themselves, you know, and leading yourself starts from very simple things like being on time, like keeping to your words, like doing the right things irrespective of who's doing the wrong thing around you. Those little things, those things that make people know this person is different, even you without being the leader. Because I tell a lot of young people, you should be the leader with no title. Because there are a lot of leaders who have titles and have no influence. That's why you see some people when they're out of office, you walk past them on the street and you ignore them. Because the only influence they had was the power they had while they were in office. But if you're a leader who has personal leadership, it's easy for you to influence other people with that. People just look at you and like, wow, this person is different. This person keeps his word. This person shows up on time. This person has integrity. You know, I probably say that you don't know an honest man because he doesn't have an opportunity to steal. You know an honest man because he has an opportunity to steal. He knows he will not be caught, and yet he doesn't steal.
5 t-shirts.
Wow. Okay, so as a coach, I know you've had clients that will come tell you that I can do so many things at the same time, and you know I'm proficient in doing this and this and that. So how can I strike a balance in order to, you know, be productive in everything that I do?
Okay, if I mention Idangote now, what comes to your mind?
Money.
Cement.
Indomie,
Cement.
pasta.
That's the word, cement. We have a lot of young people who are multi-potentialites. They can do a lot of things, and at the end of the day, they become good at nothing. Because they didn't put in the time required to become a master at one thing at a time. So for me, I say I'm a coach, a poet, and a writer. I started out in Benin basically as a spoken word poet. So a lot of people knew me as a poet. But then I realized that I needed to upgrade myself and move from being just a poet to being a coach, which I'm doing right now. So I knew at the time that I needed to succeed in poetry, now start training other people to do it, and then move on to the next thing. So a lot of people don't do that. They just say, okay, like what's currently happening now, people looming. Quite interesting because your impending doom is coming. Because a lot of people seem to have selective amnesia. They forget quickly and they choose the things they want to forget. Yeah, they may not be old enough to remember the time of Plan Well, but at least they saw MMM. And if that didn't teach them a lesson, loom is here. Because lessons you don't learn repeat itself, just like you have carryovers in school. So it's repeating itself for some people to learn from it this time that it doesn't pay to make quick money. Because money you make fast would not last. All the people who are looming and cashing out, what are they doing with the money? Nothing. Go putting it back into the loom because greed is never full.
I don't have a big enough closet for all these t-shirts. So I have a couple more comments. Shobande Adewale says, read your course, but study your purpose and your passion. He also goes on to say, be a leader with a title. Osato Anwe Glory says, well done, Osagie. And Gloria Adebayo
Happens to be my sister.
And Gloria Adebayo says, love the show. Same, Glory, same. And we're going to have to wrap it up real quick because I don't want you to, can you move in, Abby? Okay, so that's really exciting. Let's just wrap it up and bring it back home. What are your last words for internship for people that are listening out there, young people that are still thinking if they want to dabble or not, if they think it's a waste of time or not? What would you say to young people listening right now? Your last thoughts on internships?
Okay, an internship is not a waste of time. It's one good way for you to invest your time and get good at what you want to do. So I encourage young people to research the organizations they want to go intern and then go ahead and intern, because it's a way for you to learn for free and not to be fired while you're learning because you're making mistakes.
Okay.
So I encourage people to go and seek out internships so that you can get better at what it is that you want to do. Because if you don't get it for free through internship, you actually will pay for those learnings later in life.
Yeah.
Wow.
So.
Wow is the right word. And Shobani Adewale is having the best time today. He goes on to say, lessons you don't learn will always repeat itself.
Yeah.
Wow. Okay, so 1 down and 19 more to go. This season on TSR Breakfast Show promises to be exhilarating. This is just the tip of the iceberg. We have so much planned for you this season. It's going to be a madness. Remember to subscribe to our YouTube channel, TSR Nigeria Space TV. We'd love for you to join us on all our online communities. My name is Joyce Chips.
And I'm Ejiro Omoigede.
And of course, Neki Moyo.
I want to say a big thank you to you, Mr. Alex Osagie. You have touched lives and changed mindsets.
Exactly.
And you made us to change our wardrobes too. So we haven't.
We do hope we could do this another time.
Oh, can I have like a closing comment?
Oh, yeah, sure.
Oh, fantastic. I always tell young people that I do not mix business with pleasure.
Okay.
But the only time I mix business with pleasure is when I tell you as a client that it has been a pleasure doing business with you.
7 shirts.
Yeah.
And it's a wrap on the show. Thank you so much for joining us. Hope you had yourself a lovely time. We'll see you tomorrow, same time. Good morning.
Morning.